The past few years have been a rocky road to navigate for all artists, but some were able to channel their experiences from the period into fresh new work that reveals new layers and shades of their talent. With her recent album Therapy and the catchy new single Please Don't Go, Halifax pop artist Ria Mae performs in her hometown on Thursday. It's her rock, paper, scissors tour with Virginia to Vegas, aka songwriter Derek Baker, which reaches the Lighthouse Arts Centre. And she looks forward to introducing her latest songs and bringing her friend Baker to a hometown crowd.
I've known him for years, since some of my first press runs, and it's just really fun to get to be with him and his band on this, halfway across the country. And yeah, the shows have been great so far. It feels a bit weird to be back after all that time off of touring, but it's at the same time, it's there's so many little things you forget about, the little coffee shops and vegan restaurants in each city and the people that show up in each city. And it's it's been really heartwarming and nice to be back on the road.
Mae last performed here on the Grand Oasis stage in Grand Parade this summer. It gave fans their first chance to hear her songs from Therapy, which channel her feelings and frustrations from lockdowns and the arts being in limbo with no end in sight.
I started getting into feeling depressed and writing sad songs and then being like, who am I as an artist? I don't want to put out any songs. And kind of ended up the very last song I wrote after the entire pandemic was over. And I had moved my home from Toronto back to Halifax. I wrote the song The Old Me with Bria Isabel, just about coming back to your hometown and feeling not as confident as you assumed you would as all these sort of memories of people and places hit you.
Cape Breton native Carleton Stone also had to find a creative outlet while his former group Port Cities was sidelined by COVID. So he naturally started writing songs for himself and his first solo project in 8 years, the heartfelt and rootsy new record Papercut. He also stretched out his studio skills, producing his record and a new one for his Gordie Sampson song camp pal, Willie Stratton.
Just kind of freaked out and watching the news too much and stressing myself out over what is our business going to be like, after this, or when is this going to end, or just all that uncertainty. So I think diving into the production stuff was really the only thing that kind of kept me sane. It was just you could at least focus in on something and kind of forget about what was going on in the outside world.
Stone is back on stage this month with 4 Papercut release shows, starting at the Carleton on Friday, December 9th, and appearances in Charlottetown and Sydney with Ria Mae and Truro with Willie Stratton. He'll share the new songs and stories of how they came about.
Just taking all that experience and putting it back, it's into what I want to say as an artist now. And I do feel like, I'm a bit older now, that the things I'm talking about have a little more weight to them, I hope, and aren't just some 20-year-old writing about adultery or whatever. So yeah, it's been fun just kind of having that more mature point of view, and being like, okay, what do I want to say as an artist this time?
For Ria Mae tickets, visit sonicconcerts.com. For information about the Carleton Stone dates, go to carletonstone.com. In Halifax, I'm Stephen Cooke for the SaltWire Network.
Without my pills for real.